Good morning, all.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Morning.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hi, everyone. Good morning and welcome.
All right. Hello, everyone. I hope all of you are well. So the persons who are new, even if you're here again, in the chat, you could just see where you're from and what kind of business you have. So like, we darker could see approval, candles, something like that. I could see if you're here for the first time. So if you could be like Coover, candle maker, first time. That'd be cool to see. I've seen some familiar faces, Cindy Lou.
So that means I don't have to talk?
Fernando, accountant and business advisor. Oh, now you don't have to talk. You can just type it in. Yeah. Oh, Cindy, I'll catch you. Hey, Marina, we need your services, girl. It's quite an important asset for entrepreneurs. And Farmer HR and security, cool. Anasha, natural glam, yes. Migrant, coconut chutney, cool. Arisha, coconut chutney. That's like where it's put in doubles. Seema, Dr. Seema, yes, we know you well. Dr. Seema is the local economic development officer, which most regional corporations should have, right? And they are like tasked with ensuring that the corporation resources
I am Sharon James. I have a business in Pepper Village, Faisabad.
No problem. Thanks, Sharon.
Yes.
Kenisha, graphic design and digital marketing. Hey, Kenisha, do you use Canva or Premiere or Adobe suite of tools? Recently, someone wanted to do a graphics course. We recognize that entrepreneurs ought to be using Canva more, but all the graphic designers, I know, we'll
To answer your question, this is Felicia. So I've just kind of started using Adobe Photoshop and trying to transition from Canva a bit because I want to kind of just enhance the quality of some of my graphics. I could use Canva really well, but Adobe Photoshop, you could get certain features and qualities that you wouldn't really get on Canva, right? So yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. And we all agree. I agree that Adobe Suite of Tools is better. That being said, sometimes entrepreneurs have like nothing. They don't even know Canva. So that tool set of training entrepreneurs, even with Canva, Dr. Seema expressed interest in with the local corporations. So perhaps there's a opportunity to connect you to. Cool. All right. Lila Beth, CNK Crafts, customized items, printing and glass etching. Cool. Yeah, cool. Looking to branch into photography. All right, cherries. Hey. Right then. Close to my heart there. All right, so let's see. Let me begin to. Oh, you have more stuff. Anastasia, female accessories and designer belts. Hey, Kenisha from Tobago. That's what you said. Yes. Lovely. Yeah. Let me. Cool. I'm about to share. Here we go. Now. All right, everyone. Welcome to the Small Business Workshop Series hosted by the Trinidad and Tobago Entrepreneurship Hub. I know some of you, this is not your first time, but for those of you who it is your first time, let me to introduce you guys. Make sure to check out ehubtt.org. You learn a lot about the hub as well as see some of our resources there. Make sure and sign up. All right, so Ehub was an initiative that was a partnership between the American Embassy here in the US and some of the alumni that went through its program. They said that, hey, you see opportunity for entrepreneurship to drive youth and persons away from violent extremism and to empower them economically. And they brought on an expert to do some studies here in Trinidad and said that Trinidad can really do with an entrepreneurship hub. Its goal is to promote collaboration, consensus building, meaning we all agree that this is good or not, and shared knowledge about best business practices, meaning is this the best way we ought to do things? And that shared knowledge amongst us all. And we want to have a vibrant and sustainable entrepreneurial ecosystem, right? Currently, the last report on Trinidad about entrepreneurship wasn't so good by the World Economic Forum, but this is like in 2018, and in the 2019 report, they said that we were really low, like 119 out of 141 countries in terms of entrepreneurship ratings. So we could really improve. The goal is to, for example, be like a chamber of micro entrepreneurs. So you would have heard about the Chamber of Commerce. A lot of local or corporations or regions might have a Chamber of Commerce. Some might not, but they very much kind of cater for large organizations. They have a fee. But we as micro entrepreneurs, if we come together to form a chamber of micro entrepreneurs, then we could start speaking for ourselves to promote resources that are more suited for what we as solopreneurs, micro entrepreneurs, what we need. So for example, we want to say, right, that in Ehub, over 1,000 members, and good to see that we have over 1,000 subscribers now. So we're very happy. Supported by the embassy, local, regional, foreign chambers of commerce, and regional corporations, collaborating with the banks of Trinidad and Tobago to ensure access to banking and finances is least restrictive as possible. All banks in TNT agreed to adopt the processes set out in a simple document like guidelines to opening a bank account in TNT. And this document will feature worldwide best practice of opening bank accounts for entrepreneurs and ensures that the process is universal and easy. And one of the programs that we did, we asked 100 social entrepreneurs what was their difficulty, and it said access to finance. So if you could make that easy, or at least share the best way of getting that access to that finance, that would be great. I must say that during our time in the Ehub, we found some ways that where we could able to connect entrepreneurs to financing, and that was excellent. We want more success stories like that. Last session, we heard about Brent, right? And he had a success story. Then we also connecting with Public Bank very soon. Next week, I'm not sure. You know that? This month. So with Republic Bank, and we want to hear their offering because they have an offering targeted directly at entrepreneurs. And we will capture that and want to share it with all of you guys. Right, so goals of the Hub: leverage local and foreign resources, work alongside key stakeholders in the landscape, entrepreneurship landscape, to encourage collaboration and help you understand the resources available to you, and foster collaboration amongst entrepreneurs. As an example of some of the resources we met so far. What we learned so far is that a lot of people actually want to help entrepreneurs. We just need to connect better. That's the Mapping Entrepreneur Landscape Program, Academy of Women Entrepreneurs Program, other things we are part of. All right, this is the small workshop business series, or small business workshop series. We start collecting some mileage under our belt there. This looks good. We did a financial literacy workshop, which was really, really good, by one of our founders, Dr. Joanne Platt. Right, she is a diaspora. So she's from the diaspora of Trinidad, and she lives in America. But she sits on boards that connects a lot of social aid, and it's always good to hear from her and see how she could help improve our circumstances here, wheeling aid to us. Ooh, export readiness with Export TT. I mean, these are some of the resources we have that exist just for you guys. I mean, honestly, starting the journey with Ehub, I did not know all of these resources existed. Personally, my business has to get some of these inputs into it, but I'm a lot better off because of going along this journey with you guys. All right. Probably bank persons came down to Superior, and the entrepreneurs were like, what? Someone said the most I ever had a conversation with a banker was as a teller line, and it was just like 5 minutes. But it's really important. I think all entrepreneurs really ought to understand what the bankers look for and how they think to help you in your progress. Cool. And of course, our ask is that we need your voice to be counted along with ours. When we go to Republic Bank, we need to say, or any bank, we need to be able to say, this is our problem, not Kenisha's problem, not Cindy Lou's problem, not Kellyanne's problem. No, this is our problem. We, right, all 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 of us want this specific detail changed. You want this to be clear, right? So how we do that is we want you guys inside the subscription base. So you can go to ehubtt.org and sign up so you can capture you. Right, cool. Oh, yes, this is something else. Right, let's go to online. Oh, this is the online courses that we're gonna have, right? And you will get access to this link. We always send it, and this is what we are wheeling this time. Right, so let's go. Oh yes, I'm supposed to talk about the speaker. Usually it's another speaker, but today I said I have to get a bit more personal since I have journeyed along this path, and I'm not sure if I shared it with all of you, but this session really is about strategies for personal advancement, and I'll share some of the things that I personally have gone through, right? And my journey is from engineering to entrepreneurship as a wedding photographer, amongst other things. So you'll hear some more about that, but let's get into the good stuff. Let's go hear from the experts down in YLI, right? So as you know, or I guess not for the new ones, if you go to this link, there are a number of online resources available for you. One of the programs that you're able to benefit from. They created this page full of courses that they believe that entrepreneurs in Latin America and the Caribbean could benefit from. So you could go here and say, you know what, I want to learn about grant writing. I want to learn about fundamentals of personal money management. You could find all of these right here, anytime when you need it. Right. Okay, I just have to make sure my sound is being shared. Good. Yes. Can you hear me? Yes, you hear me now. All right, let's see if we could hear. Hear it? No. Sorry, guys, I got a new PC. This is what happens. Anything? All right. 1 second, guys. Let me just switch PCs here. Oh.
Courses of ethics. In this session, we're going to talk about ethical management and leadership. Learning
Can you guys
objectives
hear me?
include understand the importance of ethical considerations when leading and managing, identify the sources of ethics. The 4 questions every code of ethics should address. Leaders need to consider their actions in the context of others. Leaders understand that words and actions have consequences. Understanding how others will react or perceive actions is important because a better understanding of others helps to guide actions. It's important that others continue to have trust and that others perceive your actions and words as ethical. When others perceive the leader has made an unethical decision, people will quickly lose trust in the leader, and that can lead to other consequences, such as a loss of motivation. In extreme cases, a loss of trust can threaten an initiative or an organization. In order to make ethical decisions, even when those decisions aren't popular, many leaders develop and follow a personal code of ethics. Without a personal code of ethics, leaders are often left with little guidance on how to act in the face of difficult choices. One way to think about ethics is to think of a ship lost at sea without a compass to guide the captain. Without a code of ethics, leaders will be lost when they face tough situations. Developing a code of ethics will help leaders navigate difficult situations and will help the leader build confidence that he or she is making the best, most ethical decisions. Leaders turn to several sources when creating a code of ethics. Many individuals rely on religious or spiritual teachings. Others rely on the values offered by their family. Some individuals turn to other leaders, leaders for whom they have admiration, and try to adopt the values of those leaders. Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, and Mother Teresa of Calcutta are often cited as examples of leaders who held strong codes of ethics. One example of a difficult ethical decision occurred in a retail company. This situation, faced by a former student of mine, shows the challenges that a person encounters when trying to do the right thing. Brian was the manager of a store, and he had a job opening for a new sales associate. His top choice was a young woman who had previously worked in sales. She had outstanding references. Brian's boss, David, asked Brian to hire one of David's family members. This person did not have the same credentials as Brian's top candidate. Brian understood that other employees would be disappointed if Brian hired someone who was unqualified, but simply because they were the friend of David. Brian was worried that if he did not do as his boss suggested, Brian might be fired. However, Brian also knew that in some cultures, hiring someone you trust personally is more important than hiring someone who has higher qualifications. Leaders like Brian often rely on a code of ethics that answer 4 different questions. First, am I breaking any established rules or laws? In Brian's home country, it was not illegal to hire family members, so Brian was okay on that question. 2, is the action I'm taking seen as fair by others? Here, Brian was on shakier ground because he knew, though it was legal to hire family members, hiring the boss's relative would be seen as inconsistent and unfair. 3, how would I feel about myself if I took an action? Brian felt that it was okay to hire the boss's family member, even though he knew he could hire someone more qualified, because he knew that the job was easy to learn and that the family members seemed motivated to do the job well. Last, is the action I take consistent with the values of my family and community? Brian felt that he could hire the family member because, although it might be perceived as unfair by many, many organizations hired family members, especially small family-run stores like the store where Brian worked. As you can see, making ethical decisions guided by a code of conduct is difficult. What would you have done if you were Brian?
All right, guys. Talk to them. What would you have done if you were Brian? Can you hear me? You're hearing? No.
Good morning, Cissy here. I would have taken the person who have the more experience and not the family member or the person I have known, because to me it will compromise certain decision within the framework of the organization, especially if it's somebody who how could I put it? Especially if somebody I can know close, considering how our working environment functions now, I would have take the person who have more experience and the person who have.
Okay, anyone else shares that viewpoint or does not? You can put it in the
Hi, good
chat.
morning.
Good morning. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'll go
Oh,
after.
thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe that you should hire the person with the qualifications because if the person that he was a family member had the similar qualifications, I could understand maybe overlooking somebody outside of relations. But seeing that the person coming in with no experience, it makes more sense to keep the company flowing basically by hiring the person who actually could do the job already rather than trying to teach this brand new person something that they don't know anything about. Also, when it comes to hiring family members, the person that they're hiring could be somebody that, they want to take advantage of their being related to the boss, and that could be harmful in the relationship with the entire team, with all the team members, when it comes down to getting things done within the store.
Okay, what if it's the person's son?
Initially, there's a total conflict of interest where the organization or the store is concerned, because again, to dealing in a professional level, to me, that what does hamper a lot of businesses when you have somebody of a close relation, right? Because again, to me, like it does consider the person feeling that person might come to work late. She actually trying to see about, or you keep on making excuses are not thinking about the business. That is a professional environment where professionalism supposed to be one of the traits. So I will still go with the person who is more qualified, but not a personal relation. I wouldn't go there at all.
I see that. Brian?
What I'm saying is in a private company, remember, for what I've seen, is that they have plans like for succession planning where the family members assume certain positions, right, for continuity and so on. So what I see on Young and Restless, I think it was applying to the private companies. But in a government setting where there's a fixed policy, I think they usually have a committee that you're hired based on the marks you make and all those kind of things. So there's a fixed kind of policy for that.
Lilibet? Are you hungry?
Yeah, morning everybody. I think what we probably need to do is to look at the person's background a little more in terms of the family member, because if it is that maybe they don't have the qualifications but they have the experience, then that could also be a factor, as well as if the person who working in the company qualified in terms of not only just qualified, but the position that they hold in now, they are at expert level there. If we have to move them to another position, then we have to look for somebody to fit where they were working before. So then that could be another challenge. So bringing the family member, depending on their background, if they have experience, that we need, because sometimes managerial positions don't really need groundwork kind of so much to say, but they need more supervisory experience. So that could also be a factor.
Okay. Anyone advocating to hire the guy's son?
Excuse me, but the particular instance that we're speaking about, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, I'll speak up.
Sure. Thank you. In this particular instance, the guy was asking to have a family member hired that did not have the qualifications, correct?
Let's say he had less qualifications.
He had less qualifications. Personally, I would, unless it's like somebody said, if it was a direct, that boss directly said to hire the person and not a suggestion, yeah, hire the person. because they're telling you to do it. But if they're giving you a suggestion, I will go with the person that's better qualified.
The trouble with that is sometimes people will have qualifications in that they just gather a set of certificates, but in terms of the experience and exactly knowing how to exact the work itself is a totally different thing.
Hi everyone, morning. I would I'm going here and standing alone. I would hire the family member. Reason being, based on experience. Well, I would hire the family member based on the case study, the type of business and the factors involved. Reason being, most of the times in companies, like somebody had said, succession planning, one. Two, based on my corporate work experience coming out of that, qualifications, as the past person said, master's degrees sometimes don't count for the capability to do the job. Is just to do the pay grade, and they come in and you have persons that have the work experience and still end up training the person that may have masters and degrees. One. Two, there are other factors involved sometimes when bosses ask persons to hire family members, reason being that sometimes strangers may come in or other persons may come in, and there's a loyalty factor that they look at things like in terms of, let's say, carrying the company to court and these things. Sometimes they look at it that if it's a family member, they could probably sit and rationalize and save the company money. So it's always not necessarily short term. They look at things in terms of long-term planning. All right. Now, I'm of the opinion if somebody gets an opportunity and they come in and train and they're not functioning, then that's different. But I guess somebody here could identify that you would have been given a job and you may not fit all the qualification, but then with proper training, you end up outperforming persons who may have masters and degrees, and then companies decide, okay, this person is working well in terms of what they do functional, because we have different functions, and they end up sending you just to get the pen to paper in terms of the degree and the masters. I've seen many times that persons come in, they may not have, again, the qualifications on paper, but they work well in terms of their job. And then you send them off to do the training, and it's an asset to the company, because then you could now put in certain clauses and say, okay, you're working this, we paid for this, and it gives the employee as well a sense of feeling appreciated. So that's just I stand alone on my opinion based on experience.
Good stuff, good stuff. I'll see Issa and then I'll take Lana.
Okay, so I 100% agree with her as well in some cases. For me, I think competency is not just a matter of experience and qualification. I think aptitude for the job as well too, motivation, all those kinds of things play a significant factor. And to judge how that is for a family member versus someone that might be hired, that's another story. Now, the thing about it is it also depends on how that hiring was done. If it was, let's say you put it out into the job market, that's a whole different story than if you were recommended, just asked in the network for people to be recommended for a particular job. There's a cost to hiring as well too. And so if the company had put out to be able to gather resumes and those things, I mean, it costs just to put a post on Caribbean Jobs, let's say, for example, for 2 weeks could cost up to $4,000, right? So there's all of those aspects of that hiring process itself, and that needs to be considered. The long-term implication of hiring someone is also there as well too, and making sure you have a right fit for the organization, personality side. So yeah, I don't think it's a clear cut and dry case a lot of the times, and therefore it's not just a matter of ethics for nepotism versus networking, right? But all of those aspects as well too. How does the company function after? How does that person fit in the space? Yeah.
Indeed. Lionel?
Yes, good morning, Shemeon. Good morning to the participants. What I would like to say, there's a lot of ambiguity here in terms of me making a decision whether to go to the family member or not. But if the company has a policy document that guides or directs series of steps on what are the decisions to be made if someone has to be hired. And if it's a family member, do they have any protocol to deal with that? If not, I go back to the board of directors and I seek guidance and direction. So at the end of the day, when I make a decision, I can stand on the decision and I cannot be victimized either which way. So I would always ask for a policy document and be guided by that policy document. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very, very, very good inputs. My two thoughts on it. I've seen it a number of ways. So I've worked in a corporation, like a public corporation, public-ish, and the larger the corporation, like a plant, the more unjust those decisions to go the family member feels. But then I've seen work for like family business, like small family business. And I just had a book here. This is Build Your Legacy from Sajjad Mohammed, Solopreneur to Family Business Hero. If you check, a lot of the business organization in Trinidad, they are built on family businesses. Not saying all, I'm saying a number of them are built on family business. So in that scenario, as Issa and Rachel suggested, right, is a different set of guidelines we're working with. So it is not a cookie cutter. What's important is for us, each of us, to have a personal code of ethics to say, these are the lines upon which I am following. So I don't want it just to be this personal code of ethics or this decision making to be just about what to do in work. The course is about personal advancement. And I would share a personal story about how I use code of ethics to help me. Right, so let's just put this here. I'm gonna just change my screen that I'm sharing.
Can I add one more thing?
Oh, of course.
Thank you. In terms of hiring family members and building businesses through having a family-owned company, I don't have an issue with that inherently. My issue is actually when the person is unqualified. I think that if you want to build a business around your family, I think that you should, at the bare minimum, if you're going to have, other people outside of your family employed as well, at the bare minimum, you should ensure that your family members at least have the qualifications. So that when they are going to step into a role, they're not going to look as though they're just getting it just because of family, right? Because they have developed the competencies in order to be in that role.
I agree. And even if you think about it, yes, we're talking about like big business, but as micro entrepreneurs, personally, I think the third person I hired was a cousin. And I think that was the worst hire I ever did, right? And I said, not me again, right? So it really depends. And just as I say, Darius, make sure the person qualified, right? It's cool. So once upon a time, I was an electrical engineer. You'll see here. I'll show you. I'm working in a plant like kind of like what you could see behind me, an industrial plant. And then I read a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective Persons that asks to say, hey, what's important to you, Shem? And I said, okay, God, family, me, as in hobbies and interests, work and charity. And I put this, it was on a whiteboard, like on the table, on the wall. But when I really checked myself, I was not ideally living up to my code of ethics because I was just working all the time. Right? But people come in the room and say, well, Sham, what's that about? And I say, okay, this is what is important to me. And slowly I began making decisions in alignment with those order, like my personal code of ethics. So I would first suggest, if it is that, do you have your personal ethics written down? Do you see it all the time? Because it's easy to get sidetracked away from it. So at one point I did, start delving more in my hobbies and interests, which was actually dance, right? And see me here and it's dancing there. Ooh, are we seeing jacket? Oh no, right? Yeah. But dance. And because of that dance, someone asked me to create a video where I dance on the screen and in time with someone was dancing on the stage. And I was all this time I didn't know I like photo video. I just doing what they wanted. But it's in doing that I recognized I saw the opportunity to invest in this talent, right? That eventually led me to where I am now. But it had a time. I had to make a really, really hard decision. So I was the electrical engineer. I was working nights in the plant, and I was responsible for the plant. My wife said, Shem, you know, I see you for a month because you're working nights. When I come home, I'm sleeping. At least bring home New Year's Eve with the family. So can you come home for lunch, right? 12 o'clock. And I live 10 minutes from my workplace. So I mean, of course, yes, because my source is God, family, me, work, and charity. I would prioritize my family over my work. But that night, all kind of issues on the plant, right? And 5 minutes to 12, I get a call from my wife. Hey, Shem, where are you? And I'm here. I'm in the middle of the plant. And I'm like, ah. I remember we live in 10 minutes away. So right there, I broke my promise. I could just hear my wife, like, hears her cry on the phone. And I was like, wow. I wasn't living up to my personal code of ethics. So that was the moment when I said, you know what? I'm going to quit my job. I said, April 17th will be 7 years, 7 months, 7 days. Great time to quit. And that I did quit to move away from engineering into photography and videography. Now, if I had not quit, there's no way I'd be doing what I'm doing, what I love now. I always say when I do video and photo, it feels like all the talent and puzzle pieces that God placed into me falls into place. And I have been blessed to do it, and it has advanced me further than I could have ever feel I could have been had I stayed where I was. Many times I ask persons at work or persons that doing business, right? Because at the same time, it's not that I was the only business I was doing photo video. One point in time, the first business was selling and servicing selling cameras, but I didn't love it, right? It wasn't my hobby and I wasn't passionate about it. It was just a good idea and I did it, but eventually it crashed. The second business was medical services and repair. And I mean, I was in engineering, I could repair stuff pretty well. There was a need in the market. But I wasn't passionate. So, if you ask myself personally, if I ever felt that I could be the best in the world at engineering, where I was, installing cameras or installing medical equipment, I'd perhaps say no. But if it is, you ask me if I in photo and video, especially in commercial photo video, if I feel like I could be the best in the world, I'll say yes. I feel like I am where I am. And what led me here and still leads me now is that personal code of ethics. God, family, me as in hobbies and interests, work, and then charity. It is crucial for you to have that because all the decisions flow from that. So in terms of, let's say you have to make a hiring person, in this example, I would say, to do this, am I violating God? Right? The godly principles I live by. And if it's yes, I can't do it. Am I violating my family? Right? Am I, well, me personally, or then work? How is this going to benefit or change or handle work? But I prioritize my principles and my family, relationship with family before that. Right? So that's my experience with code of ethics for now. Does anyone here have a personal code of ethics that they would like to tell us about?
Morning. Okay.
Yes, Risha.
Yes, I do. My story is somewhat similar to yours, working in shipping, getting called off of maternity leave. So I am one of the parents. I guess I live currently on, there's somewhat of a guilt trip when you are in the industry and you don't get to spend time with your child, being your spouse as well, involved in the industry as well. So my son would have had a full-time sitter because of the hours. No vacation, no Christmas, anything like that. So I made the decision to come out of it to be a mother, because when I look at myself, I really share traditional values. I love home, I love family. And I mean, it was a very hard decision. I guess you could relate in terms of when you look, finances, the difference, and I'm doing what I love. So yeah, that's basically my story. And in terms of losing touch as well, in terms of with your spirituality and the Lord, because in shipping, there are no, you can't, your schedule is very, very different. So in terms of being able to go to church and these things, it's a 24-hour job. So that's just a little bit of my story.
Thanks, Rachel. Yeah. Anyone else want to share? You guys hear me better now? I saw some comments about sounding soft. Yes, better, great. All right, cool. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next one. Right. Share sound. Pow. You're going.
I'm Sadhna Hall, and this is Networking to Get Ahead. In this lesson, we will learn how to identify important networking skills, how to develop networks, and how to maintain your network. It's important to network thoughtfully and effectively. To be the best at what you do, you need to surround yourself with people who inspire you, who motivate you, and who challenge you. People who ask you difficult questions and provide honest feedback. Networking is the practice of intentionally seeking out these people. Your personal network is your resource. It's just as tangible and necessary as your technical skills. Let's go over some of the important necessary networking skills. First, just be open to meeting new people, listening to new ideas, and engaging with people outside of your specific business or industry. Be authentic in how you present yourself and your business. Networking requires a genuine interest in others. They deserve your respect and your attention. Be a good listener for common goals and interests and establish useful relationships. Be punctual and respect how much time your contacts are able to give you. Be proactive and conduct research on the individual, the employer, or the industry with whom you would like to connect. Here are some ways to develop your network. Reach out to friends, family members, and alumni. They are a rich pool of people with connections. Seek to connect with people informally at conferences and meetings or at formal networking events. Begin your conversation with what you know about the person or the organization. Talk about your common interests and build your conversation from there. Let them know how you possibly can help them. Make connections through social media such as LinkedIn. LinkedIn can connect you to others with similar interests. It can help you establish wider networks and is a rich resource of information for professional development. When you communicate with people through face-to-face interviews, over the phone, or through Skype, or some other system, be prepared with questions. Use the internet, if you have access, Choose and adapt questions that will be personally and culturally relevant to you, that will help you to network. If a chance meeting offers you an opportunity, ask for contact information and a business card. Reciprocate. Be a resource for those in your network. Your network is built over time because all connections you make become part of your personal and professional network. Think about it as something that is alive and that requires time and your attention to stay healthy and relevant. Here are some ideas on how to maintain your network. Reach out to your contacts when something reminds you of them. Let them know you're thinking about their needs and not just what they can do for you. This will help you build a strong foundation for a continued relationship. Send along occasional updates or interesting, relevant information about yourself. Reach out to your contact in advance of coordinated job searches. Send your resume and the job description to the position that you're applying. Keep your contact informed about the outcome and write them a thank you note if they in any way help. Remember what you talked about with your contacts when you met them. A good way to remember is to write quick notes on their business card. Be sure to follow up with a new contact within 24 to 48 hours. If your contact connects you to a valuable resource, please let that person know what happened as a result of this connection. Be sure to thank both of them. Networking can be a powerful tool.
All right, guys. I have to ask, was she talking sense in a local context? Absolutely, absolutely. I could share a story, a little networking story that I like to share. So once upon a time, after I quit my job, I had the opportunity to go to somewhere called Wildlife. It's like a program for young entrepreneurs, teaching about entrepreneurship. Changed my life. And let me show you, right? So it's like about 250 entrepreneurs. They took us away to America for 6 weeks, right? And it's Latin America and the Caribbean, right? So they have a lot of Caribbean folk and some person that speak Spanish, but everyone speaks English. So I enter this room, 250 persons, and I had to choose where to sit. And I see like Caribbean people click up there on one table. And then I see this table, nobody looking like me or anything. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try sitting down by these folks. And I went to sit down by them. Everyone kind of looked like, let's see, like this here, right? This is actually a girl called Maria, right? And they are on the table, it's a circular table, about 10 of us. And they all speak in Spanish. So at one point in time, I was like, wait, boy, I think I messed up. They don't really care to speak to me. They're not like me. They're not even talk my language. And I felt excluded, right? And in the midst of that, Maria, the skill here, what she's drinking is something called mate, a very popular drink in South America. And they all share the same cup and the same straw. And she offers me this mate for me to drink. Total flip. So from being excluded to doing something so personal, because you know in Trinidad, we drinking from nobody's straw, right? But it really shook me at that gesture, right? And I began talking to her and a friend next to her. The friend next to her was a girl called Barry. And Barry, I just saw Barry likes to make designs, like cool designs for females. And I told her, I like to photograph. And she said, well, one day she loved to carry me to Peru and photograph some of the designs. And she indeed did have the opportunity, did bring me to Peru and helped me take the most favorite picture I ever have taken of impacting people high up in Andes Mountains. Now, all that to say, if you trace back, when I enter that room, I had a choice to make. I've got to go on and sit down next to people that look like me, who I'm familiar with, or could have chosen to sit down think somebody totally new and put myself out there. I'm glad I did the latter because it ended up here. More networking stories, same wildlife. So they split us up into groups of 10, right? And they carry us to, this is Louisville. First night, networking session. All right, cool, that's fun. Second night, networking session. All right, you're starting to get tired. Third night, what? Are they want to carry us on next networking session? No, I don't want to go, right? Do we have to go to these things? No, y'all don't have to go. It's not mandatory. Great. 7 of us stay home, right? Now, see this guy, there's me here on the leftmost. This guy right next to me, Fernando Marin. He is the first Chilean wine, like brewery maker. Like, it's like this Chilean rum. And he's mixed it up high in the Andes Mountains, right? We're using Amazonian oak. The story is marvelous. Whenever we introduce ourselves, no one cares about me and my medical stuff. Everyone cares about Fernando's rum, right? Fernando is one of the guys that said, oh. And it so happened at that event session, it was like a word quiz or something like that, right? A word trivia. And at that session, there was the international marketing manager of Jack Daniel's whiskey. And she was a lovely person, bubbly, warm. And I'm talking to her and I said, I know exactly who you need to talk to. He wasn't there. So I just could take the numbers and connect them. Despite that, because they didn't have that natural warm connection, I don't think they ever connected. Right? But it taught me the importance of getting out there. The time you decide to sit down or stay out, you could miss a world of opportunity. So with that, came back to Trinidad and I was like, I need to network, right? And it had the Ernest Entrepreneur of the Year Awards for Ernest and Young. And I call them and I say, hey, can I come to this? I'm a young entrepreneur, you know? No. I can take photos for you. We already have a photographer. Tickets are $1,000. I was like, nah, no way. All right, we doing that. And I was content to stay home. But it's just so happened that like half an hour before the event, a friend of mine, weepy guy, calls and said, hey, Shem, you know, you have an extra ticket. If I was interested in coming, you know, I could take photos. I said, yeah. All right. We went up the road, I reached a little late, but still I got to be there. And I'm walking around, but this time I know the importance of connecting with people. So what I did was, like when you tell somebody a photo or video, they might just go blank. Just be like, oh, like birthday parties or whatever. Everybody's a photographer. There's no value being connected. See, there's no value being processed on the face. So what I did was have an example of my work on my phone. And I'll say, hi, I'm a photographer and I do video and I make content like this. And I would show it to them on my phone. And then you'll see the collection and the face like, oh, like that, okay, okay. And then you see the interest. So I just went about doing that. And there was this girl called Candice from Garden Group, and she said, oh, okay, cool, cool. You know, we're having this entrepreneurship session on Thursday morning. Michael Leachin, there's one of the lead shareholder and Garden Group is coming to Trinidad. If you want to come, I said, of course, right? So I went another biggish room, walked into the room. At the back of the room, there's a table with lots of empty chairs and a guy looking just like me. And I said, hey, I'll go and sit down next to him. But then all the way up front, there's a table with all these old folks, extra seat. And I say, what? No. Had I not learned that Fernando Marin lesson and the Wilder lesson, I would have gone and sit down where I was comfortable. But I said, no, I'm going to go where I'm uncomfortable. And I went in front and I sat down, right? And asked questions during the event, right? And then the guy next to me said, hey, what is that you do? I said, hey, I create photo and video like this. I said, oh, that's cool. And I just want the opportunity to create more content like this. And say, you know what? I'm going to make a talk to this person over here. So I'm going to the same Candice. And then I follow her. She's kind of cool. You come and talk to me. I didn't hear from her for a week. I call her. Hey, Candace, just checking up about our meeting. Sure, no problem. Shanda's busy right now. We'll check in again. And then next week, I said, hey, Candace, just checking in again, So sure, whenever chance, I call her. I said, okay. But then the week after, she did call me in for a meeting and swap another video to do. And I just went and hit that video in the park. And from there, I began doing some videos with Guardian Group. And then I took that video and go and shared it with some other people I know and say, hey, I'm Shemeon Williams. And I create videos like this. And show the Guardian Group stuff. And they're like, okay, cool. Come do it for me. And it's like that is how I began to network, wheeling my tools to show up. Okay. So the takeaways that I want you guys to gather is be uncomfortable. Talk to people, even though you feel like you don't need to, but also show your work. If you go to someone and say, yeah, I'm a candle maker, no interest whatsoever, all right? But if you say, actually, I'll use an example, better example. Hey, I'm a woodworker, okay, the blank, right? But if I go up to someone and I say, I'm a woodworker and I make designs like this, right? Then say, oh, that's so cool, it's out of wood, and totally different expression. So this is made for my sister-in-law. And the amount of persons I've recommended just by walking around with this, people come up to me and say, hey, this is so cool. Where you get it from? Do you make it? How can I get in touch with the person? So as micro entrepreneurs, it's kind of important to show and not just tell, right? And last input, I would say, make sure to listen, right? Because I have two sides of my business, weddings and corporate. And if someone, I would always talk to the person first and say, hey, what are you? What are you into? Why are you here? And the person sounds corporate. They only see Shemeon as a corporate Shemeon, corporate examples. And if it's a potential wedding client, then I'm not going to show us on the corporate. I'm going to show all the wedding content that I have on my Instagram. Cool, so that's my 2 cents. Let's see what you guys had to say in the chat. All right. Oh, Sally's sharing some content here for. All right, don't sit where you are just comfortable. The magic is in follow up and maintain interest. That's good. That's good. All right. Anybody else agree, disagree, on add, take away?
No, hi, good morning, everyone. I only wanted to add to what you were saying, and I personally benefited when I spoke to you in a particular situation at the market, and you told me to try something different, and it actually worked with people drawing their attention. So just by changing how you say things and putting it in a way that they can understand, it really helps to draw customers to you, and they ask a lot of questions. So I have to say thank you for that.
Also, welcome, Delian. Let's see. Again, nice. You know what stopped me from networking, guys? I was like, you know what? I was getting business. And I was small because just me doing all the video editing. And I was like, all right, when you get too much work, you start feeling people. And at a time I said, you know, I ain't networking a while. So I went on networking with my friend, right? And she said, hey, you can do this kind of thing for me. And I was like, yeah, let me go, man. And I couldn't commit, I couldn't deliver. So just keep it in mind. But make sure you build a business, hire the right side of people. And anytime you network, see chambers of commerce, right? You get you in life. All right.
Hi.
Yes, Simone.
Oh, yes. Yes, Shem. I just want to confirm networking is key, right? I think small entrepreneurs underestimate the power of networking. Actually, this Saturday, I'm having a business mixer, technically networking event to bring entrepreneurs together so we could, see what each other has to offer and make deals together and purchase and support each other's businesses. And I think people underestimate the power of networking because once you're in the right place at the right time, you just don't know who you can meet and what could happen and how that could propel your business, right? So yeah, definitely, I totally agree.
Indeed, indeed.
All right. Oh, looks JTB Edutainment says networking at a conference in a Caribbean island with persons from the USA looking different from me landing me a very important project. You all may hear about it later this year. That's what we say. I could write up all this stuff and we share it and encourage your entrepreneurs. Real. That's here.
Hi, good day, everyone. Just wanted to solidify what you were saying, Shem, concerning having examples or being able to at least explain what it is you do so that people will basically be in awe and understand exactly what it is you have to offer. Because for me as a therapist, when people hear what a massage therapist, you don't really get much reaction from them because they always think like a simple rub down, right? But what I explain to people is that the massages I do are totally different to what you will go by another therapist to get. So I will explain to them that I mostly do like therapeutic massages. So if you come to me with a back pain or a leg pain, or you have any problems with mobility and different things like that, and I let them know that that's what I am here to help with. I am not just here to give you a rub down and send you off, and then by the time you reach home or by the time you get from the table, you still have the same pain. So I go in depth to explain to them what I do so that they'll better understand what it is. And that's how I get a lot of clients to come to me. So once they hear the explanation, they will want to come to see if what I said is what they get. And that's how I have repeat customers now.
Nice, nice. Thank you. Thank you. Take that away, guys. Take that away. Make sure you have an example. Make sure you. No, I'm going to say it again. You're going to walk up to people. If you don't have an example of your work, you're going to walk up to people and say, hey, I am a videographer. And you're going to see the glaze in the eye, I do not care. This is not important, right? But if you listen and say, okay, this is what you kind of like, and you target have 2 or 3 examples on your phone, easy, and you just say, hey, I create content like this. Then they connect. You see the eyes light up. And in that moment, you have one job, which is to show them something excellent that they want for themselves. That's a key job. You see that? They'll be like, oh, I want that. That is it. Right? Okay. Do you have a separate Instagram for each of your business categories? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I do. It's very different mindsets. It's called it marketing to different mindsets. I can show you an example since it's a good question. I mean, going through that challenge as a micro entrepreneur as well. So I know the pain. I know that pain. Let's keep right. Not just I would have different websites. Right, so I would have Louver Weddings. And I mean, one point in time we had both, and then we got some advice from someone who knew better than us. And I said, nah, separate it. Or at least at the very first page, make it an option. So where I had this welcome, it would be, I used to have corporate or weddings, right? But then when the corporate people came, they saw this URL as weddings. And their mindset would be like, I want to trust somebody who is making content for people just like me. It's the only thing they're asking themselves. Can I trust you with things just like me? And therefore, we created Luvo Studio, totally different page. And it's just corporate. Very corporate looking, corporate feeling, very separate. So yes. Cool. Let's see. Any other question? Sure. Where can I find networking events to attend? We share them, right? Join our WhatsApp group. We share those things, right? And I mean, so there's also chambers of commerce that you can attend. They always have, I'll be honest, they have entrepreneurship events, but they're not targeted towards micro entrepreneurs. How do I know this? So a good example is there is this Vusi guy coming down to Trinidad, right? I love listening to this guy. But the cost of the ticket is, I think it's like 300 US. So that is like what, almost 2,000 TT. That is more expensive than the Entrepreneur Awards ticket that I even don't know about the important networking to turn down. So when we hear that price, we say, nah boy, we ain't going through there. Right? So which leaves you kind of two options. Either go to other networking events, right? Or there's an opportunity for us to collaborate, certainly to get together more, where we can network amongst ourselves, or we can start bartering to engage these organizations to say, hey, we could bring 20 of us, but we are micro entrepreneurs, we can't afford that price tag. Let's get it for this amount, and 20 of us will come out, right? Then we can kind of get into those things. So we have to start wheeling that as well, right? Cool. Now I'm going to go to the next one. The next one is like the third part, important part. Yes, you understand that networking is good. But if you're anything like my wife would be like, I ain't talking to nobody. I am an introvert. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Right? So let's get some advice. Let's see. Some advice from the experts. Wait. Make sure I forget to share. Let's go. All right.
I'm Allison Shapira, and this is The Art of Public Speaking. In this lesson, we'll learn how to craft your message, how to keep the audience engaged, and how to overcome your fear of public speaking. No matter where you live in the world, public speaking is essential for you to exercise leadership. It's not enough to have a vision. You have to put that vision into clear, concise, persuasive language. When you speak in front of an audience of one or more people with a specific purpose, you're speaking in public. It's something we do every single day in every country, industry, and sector in the world. It's speaking up in a meeting or at a conference. It's giving a presentation before a client or potential funder. It's inspiring an audience to take action on an important issue in your business or in your community. Now, if you're anxious about public speaking, you're not alone. It's one of the biggest fears in the world. But the good news is, public speaking is a skill, not a talent. It's like learning a language or playing a sport. The more you practice, the better you get. There are two elements of public speaking. There's what you say, the content, and then there's how you say it, the delivery. Let's start with content, crafting your message. Before writing your speech, it's important to know your audience. Make sure you use language and logic that will resonate not just with you, but also with them. Your speech should have a goal or purpose so you can have a clear call to action at the end. And you'll want to use your own words so you can let out your natural energy and enthusiasm and keep the audience engaged and interested. Keeping the audience engaged is also why you need effective delivery. Be sure to make eye contact with each member of the audience so that it feels like a conversation, not just a speech. Now, eye contact and other elements of delivery are highly cultural, so when you identify your audience in advance, be sure to ask yourself what's appropriate for that audience. Body language is also important. Your facial expressions, whether you smile or not, the movement of your hands and feet should add to your message instead of distracting from your message. And your voice is so important. Make sure you use an authentic and conversational tone instead of trying to sound like somebody else. Now, what if you get nervous before you speak? There are many ways you can overcome your fear of public speaking. The more you practice and prepare, the more confident you'll feel. So don't write the speech at the last minute. Before you give your speech, close your eyes and imagine giving a great speech. Imagine the round of applause from the audience and the sense of accomplishment you'll feel. That way, when you actually give the speech, you'll feel like you've already succeeded. Finally, learn how to breathe using your diaphragm, the muscle attached to the bottom of your rib cage. This will help you calm your nerves, center yourself, and speak with power, authority, and confidence. So whether you're writing, practicing, or delivering a speech, remember that public speaking is a skill, not a talent. It's not about trying to sound like anybody else. It's about being you at your best, on stage as well as off stage. And it's about finding your voice and your courage to speak up so that you can inspire others to take action. That is the essence of leadership.
All right. So a couple things to add to that. Start that video. And 1 second. Yes. Okay. Right. All good advice. What I would add is, well, take away the content delivery. I like how they broke down from there, right? But there are a couple things before that I want to say before, which is you have to care. You have to actually care about the person is talking to. And the reason I say that is communication is quite a thing. You communicate using so much non-verbal language. A good example, and I recognize this with a couple of things. One of which is having children. Your child is born, they're young, they can't talk words, right? Yet they can communicate. Yet they understand what you say, just a tone of voice. They understand if you're being harsh, if you're being serious, if you're being loving. So much in tone and not just the words. And also what's really important was, because I do photography, right? I was like, before I did photography, right? I was really deep into it. I walk around, see what you see me, and I would actually stand all slouched, right? Yeah, be kind of this, kind of difficult with the jacket, like take off the jacket, yeah, right? And I just be like this normal, the pouch on it. And then I learned, see, yeah, you can see the pouch. And then I learned about posture. And posture actually articulates something. It means you're confident or not. And as an entrepreneur, I want to be confident. So I began to stand up straight, right? With proper posture. Posture alone articulates is so important, because if you're not confident in what you are selling, right? Then how expect someone else to be confident about what you're trying to buy? You sell them. So that was one. Next important thing is about how the eye actually works. I want you to do this test with me. If you put your finger, right, in like 4 fingers like this, and keep your eyes on your thumb, and you just watch your thumb, you realize that your pinky finger is out of focus. And if you focus on your pinky finger, then your thumb is out of focus. How our eyes work is that it kind of scans the environment. So let's say you're looking at the screen. I was, okay, what's that image behind Sham? Oh, he has a plant in the corner. What is that table? What's on that table? And people actually pick apart everything. Everything about how you dress, the hairstyle, your posture, what you have on, and it all matters. It all matters. Why? Because this is a non-verbal communication that everyone speaks. And then when they see you, they assess you immediately. Within the first 10 seconds, they are judging you. They can't help it. This is just how humans are. Is she a confident person? Is she sharp? Do I want what she's having? Oh, let me look at her booth. Oh, booth, not so sharp. not so looking so good. I don't think I want what she has to offer. I just cannot avoid her. Or, oh, she looks nice. She looks like a pleasant person. What a warm smile. Oh, I don't mind speaking to her. It's a world of a difference, that visual communication, even online. In this session here, I have a fun idea. I'm going to take the same position where I'm in, and just see if I can make it all the difference. I'm going to switch cameras. So instead of I'll show you the camera when I switch it. So this is, well, cheap webcam. How does it impact your perception of me? Okay? Nothing has changed, just the camera alone, the camera angle. It doesn't feel so clean or sharp. Worse is if I take off the light ahead of me, right? So some more light, but still. And we get resumes with videos like this. And it's something subconscious, right? Subconscious about it is just turn away from. So it is so important. And I mean, I still have a bow tie to kind of give a little bit of sharpness to it, right? What we could do so much better, guys. Right? So much better. Let me just. So much better. Even if I clean up my space, change it, move us up. The overall impression when you see it the first time, okay, this is somebody I could trust, or this is somebody I might listen to, or I don't think they have anything for me now. Right? So, important thing. Any 2 cents anybody wants to add, ask, take away?
Hi, Shem, Simone here again. Yes, Shem, I must say, when I met you in April, it's like you can see a guy who takes care of himself, the way that you portray, and which is not with a lot of men. So I really admire that. And as you say, the image and the impression that you give people, especially when you're in a certain profession, that is so important. So I just want to compliment you on that.
I'll send the compliments to my wife, who's responsible, making sure all of this.
You're doing a great job.
Otherwise, shall again, right? But
I see.
But she's the one that is really analytical about all these little things, and is why we have invested so much in appearing on point.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So cool. So next, projection of voice is important as well. Yes, yes. And that's on the delivery side. Right? Yeah, we try to practice what you want to say. Right? Make sure. Or if you don't want to practice, get a video, let it do most of the work for you. Right? And say, hi, I'm Shem, and I do this. All right. Cool, cool. All right, so next part is our quiz. Let's see. Good quiz. All right. Again, as I always say, this is entirely a reflection of you guys, not me. Right? But we'll get a certificate, right? So, first question, developing a code of ethics helps leaders navigate difficult decisions, builds confidence that the leader is making the best decisions, instills trust that the leader's actions are fair, or all of the above. You can type in the chat A, B, C, or D. All right, you're getting a D. All of the above. All of the above. Ooh. Good stuff, good stuff. Was that too easy? Let's see if you get a harder one. Nice. Good again, people. Nobody saying anything else going? All right, wait. Only these, only these. Okay, okay. Which of the following is not a question for your code of ethics? Am I breaking the law? Will others see this action as fair? Am I making any money? how would I feel about myself? Oh, I skip one. All right, let's do this one first. Yeah. C. All right, C, okay. C. Anasha, Elisa, C. Renata, C. Indira, C. Nakasha, C. Pixie. Look, Pixie is my neighbor. C. Jewel, C. Carry 2 cents, C. All right. Kenisha, C. All right, C. Cool. 2. People can rely on which of the following to develop a code of ethics: religion, family, other leaders, all of the above, or none of the above. D. Darius said D. Tasha said D. Lilibet said D. Anasha said D. Akim D. D, of course. Like that, Beverly. Gabriella says D. All right. D. And B. Networking is a practice of intentionally seeking out people who will inspire, motivate, challenge, provide honest feedback, all of the above.
All of the above.
All right. Again, E. All right. D. Oh, E. All right. Okay. A good networking approach is to only reach out to people within your specific business or industry. True or false? False. False, Winnet. False. Okay. False. All right. 6. Which of the following is not considered a necessary networking skill? Be a good listener, be respectful, be late for meetings, be proactive, all of the above. Obviously, it's all of the above. We always do all of the above, right? Okay, C, no, ooh, wow. C. Aha, get Denise with all right. C, Elisa says C, Kenisha said C. All right, this looks like Nicole says C. Looks like the C's have it. All right. Maintaining your network involves sending occasional updates about yourself and asking about your contacts' needs, reaching out to them in advance of a job search, and sending them your resume and job description, and following up with a thank you note if they help you in any way. True or false? True. True, false. Ooh. True, false. True. Ooh. False. True. That reminds me of a story. I didn't tell you this part of the story, but after the Guardian group video, right? I was part of a it's a youth group. A group. Well, there's a program, part of a company program. And I came back as I made an email and say, hi, this is the boss of the program. Okay, I'll tell you, it's for Atlantic, right? And I say, hey, I just finished this program. This is what I'm doing now. I would love to just check you guys for lunch. And they're like, sure, cool. Right. And in that conversation, again, I showed her the work and she was like, oh, great, this is excellent. Let me go put you onto the social communications folk. And I got some jobs from there. So I would, well, I can't say the answer, but I have examples of this. Okay, okay, so it's true. You'll see. But public speaking is a skill. Is this a tool? Is it a resource? Is it a skill? Or is it a fear? Obviously a fear. All right, skill. JTB says skill. Shari says skill. Laura says skill. Renette skill. Itiba skill. Akem skill. Kinesia, all right, skill. The two elements of public speaking are appearance and style, content and delivery, clothes and hair, practice and performance. Again, some D's, practice and performance. But B's, content and delivery. All right. Looks like the B's. All right. Beverly says B. A speech should have a goal or purpose and a clear call to action. True or false? True. When Dariam says true, Akeem says true, Nicole says true, Laura says true, Kenisha true. True. Yes. Lilian says true. Desiree, true. Sally, true. Beverly, true. Anasha, true. Cool. All right, let's see, guys. Let's see. Pow! Guys, I think this is the first time in all of the Small Business Workshop series, right? We get all right on the first go. Right? So well done, guys. Well done. Right? I know somebody thinking, you're gonna email us certificate to us? No, right? Go and do it yourself and get your name. Otherwise, I'll split the Entrepreneurship Hub. Right? The Entrepreneurship Hub. Yes. How much of us here that passed 94? Nice. 94 participants. And by now I just get bored and just stop sharing. Right? So good questions, guys. Questions. Takeaways. 2 cents.
Hi, good morning.
Hi,
This is
Kenisha.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I attended. It's my first workshop in a sense, and I got to learn that we could be able to do so many courses online on this platform that could help and enhance some of our knowledge as young or starting off entrepreneurs. And this is really, really helpful, and I'll definitely be using this website a lot. So I'm glad I was able to attend this morning.
Yay. That's what we want to hear, Kenisha. It's Quenisha or Kinisha?
It's Quenisha. Quenisha.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you for the session. It was very informative and it was very enjoyable as well.
Thank you.
And I want to say thank you as well, although I came in late, but certain things I can definitely use to help me. So thank you again.
That's what we're saying. So good. Thank you. Can I get in? Sure. Right.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Kalisa.
Yeah. It's Kaliko. Well, good morning, everyone. Yes. Just trying to figure out. Thanks again for the session. It was very informative. Will you be sharing the link?
Yes.
For us to be able to come? Yeah. Can you just share it in the chat for us to access, please? Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
This is Mira. So thank you for sharing good info as usual. A quick question, perhaps you would have mentioned it and I simply missed it because I had a couple of disruptions in between. But when we started the session, you spoke about, the value of being associated with the hub and having some sort of a network. If you can share with us, and I know based on some of the programs and workshops that you will be rolling out, I'm seeing a lot about media strategies, Canva training. So all of that forms part of marketing. Is there any other tool or any other networking events you all will be launching or strategies to help some of the younger businesses to be able to network and market with prospects? And why I'm asking is because I am looking at a project which is all online. The platform is going to be online, and that requires a different level of marketing, socializing. So whilst I appreciate the entire entrepreneur and having the brick and mortar front, I would like to move away from that concept and sort of be a bit proactive and embrace what is happening via these virtual platforms. How can your hub help someone like me who needs assistance with marketing or reaching out to a certain clientele? I apologize if you did cover this before, but as I said, perhaps I missed it.
Yeah, it's a good question, but question that deserves some thought. Because I'm not just answering for you, I'm answering for all the persons like yourself, right? And if I understand, how do persons like yourself engage with prospects, right? And to answer that, you need to know who your prospects are, and you have to get them in. And it's two ways. Do you want to get them in person, or do you want to get them online, right?
Right. So I can help with that. So it's going to be an online format. My business will be service oriented, and it's again to be able to give persons convenience, just being more flexible. So it's a bit different from the usual walk-in type or face-to-face, which is why I'm asking the question, because I am trying my best as well to figure out what my marketing strategy should be. And if you're not in a position to answer the question right now, perhaps we can have a follow-up call or conversation. But what I think is, based on what's happening in the digital world, everybody needs a better understanding as to how you can push a little more or how you can actually start. And some of the videos or boosting a Facebook page, it might not be applicable to every type of business model. So if you have any ideas, I am more than happy to share that, to receive that information.
Yes, I was racking my brain, and then I remembered that this is a challenge recognized by one of these things here, which we did recently, like 2 sessions ago. So if you go on, let me put it back there. If you go on ehubtt.org in workshop series, digital marketing for entrepreneurs. And we did it with Ricola, so she knows better than me, right? And you could watch this. It's a session just like this, with questions just like people like you ask, to someone who could answer them better than I could, right? That being said, so there's that resource. In the WhatsApp group, feel free to create groups along certain lines, right? So you could say, all right, we need to, like a digital marketing group, because we need to do more for this group of people. We need to come together. The hub is made to allow for this kind of collaboration, where let's have a session again. Let's come together. Let's bring in Ricola. Let's bring in somebody else, and let's talk specifically about our digital marketing. It could be just talk about it. It could be a working session. So let's come together and assess each other. But the value of the hub is us doing things like together, and together accessing the best business resources. We have people who are capable. We can get them in again.
Okay. Thank you.
That
Thanks
answer
for
the
that.
question, Mira? Make sure.
Yes, well, it surely is giving me a sense of direction, and I will look at this segment that you would have done previously.
Thank you. Lionel and Issa. Lionel? All right, Issa, see ya.
Right. So I just wanted to add to what you were saying as well too. So in another space, I'm not only a supply chain consultant, supply chain and IT consultant, but I'm also the vice president of Real Agriculture. Yeah. So my business itself focuses on doing security cameras, but I've created a product that does solar Wi-Fi security cameras for farmers, right? So now, as the vice president of Real Agriculture, we represent up to 10,000 farmers. Yeah. So it's an NGO. We're working on those things as well. And not just base farmers, but all along the supply chain. So in creating that space, I have now created a network that I can tap for the business as well too. So just to answer the question that was being asked as well, to create those networks that make sense. Yeah. Become a part of NGOs, add that value in spaces that might necessarily be your core area. So it's just adding to what you'd have said along the way for the networking and those things as well. Add value everywhere you are, and you're able to add that or network with people that you may not have been able to touch before. Yeah.
Good point. Good point. Do you have any more questions, concerns, hopes?
Hi. So one thing I trying to jog my mind around a little is when you said to have different social media platforms for the different departments more or less that you have, right? I have about 3 different departments that could be on different social media platforms. I just trying to get some information as to why you would just to expand more on that. And also, I too was looking at the edge to go to the edge. Is anybody else going? Should I still willing to pay the 21 because he is 2100 because he's pretty dynamic. He's pretty motivating in my opinion. It's an investment in myself, and I see that to be profitable in the future. Maybe after that, I want to start a whole next company. You never know. So that was 1, 2. So you had to start numbering these because I listed them down, right? So 3. 3 is I think what was very helpful in this workshop was given that push to go out there and network. That is something that I think I'm very timid. I won't consider myself an introvert at all. But you can hear it from my voice, right? But I think small insecurities always keep you back. And, that is something that as a woman in a male-dominated field, because I have a garage, a collision repair garage, I have to try and look at that face. That's what I'm saying. Every time I say it, that's the impression I get. And I'm not timid in that aspect, but there are insecurities within myself that I need to work on in order to really push myself out there a lot more. Fourthly, I'm also in the American Embassy's Woman Entrepreneurship Program. Right now, I'm currently enrolled there, and what we learned is the elevator pitch, which has worked wonders on me. Giving that pitch of my business in 30 seconds or less, really once you can do that, that helps capture the audience and make it so dynamic that they can't help but ask, hey, where can I see more? Or what can I do? Because as I said, I'm a collision repair garage, right? I can't.
Where's she going? Chantal is going so good. I want more. Where can I get more?
May I?
Sure, Cindy.
As after Chantal's talk, I just remembered my sessions within that O program, and pitch was a nightmare. Maybe that's something for future within your business scope, within the scope of doing the workshops.
If anybody wants to do pitch presentation or brush up on on pitch techniques. Maybe that's something that could be taught as well.
Agree. Good. Lovely suggestion. All right. Comments going once. Comments going twice.
Hi everyone. Don't go to. Hi, I'm Latoya. I'm one of the amazing our sisters as well. And just to kind of piggyback on Miss Cindy and even Miss Chantel, just being a part of the O committee and the cohort, having the sisterhood of ladies, with Deja and everyone else, it really, really put me to a different mindset in terms of business. And one of the things I think for me is taking the mindset off of watching my business as a hobby, but just watching it as a successful business, putting myself out there. I had the opportunity the other day to speak or even get invited to the Netco grant program, which was so amazing. And just learning the elevator pitch, because persons started to ask you, what is your business? What is your brand? What you love? And you have basically 30 seconds or so just to pitch your idea with confidence and just knowing how to market yourself and your brand. It really, really has been an amazing, amazing opportunity. And thank you so much for these courses. Keep them coming, I just keep sharing to the different groups that I'm in. And ladies, if you are not in the O group,
sorry.
A lovely plug. Please join. It's a lovely, lovely community of business ladies. So thank you so much for the course. It was really, really informative.
Most welcome. Don't forget to join the WhatsApp group, guys. I'll just send the link again.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened and my call dropped.
Oh yes, Chantal, we were begging for more, and you
Wait,
just
yeah.
Sorry, your hand is up. Sorry about that.
Cindy?
Yes, I'm putting in a public plug within the group. Is there anyone in here who thinks that mediation is also something that could be that we need assistance with as small business people, not just in terms of teaching mediation, but also having mediation resources where if you have a dispute with another business person, whether organization, whether small or large, rather than going through long legal process and tangling up on, my way versus the highway, et cetera, kind of approach. What about mediation? Can we get mediation resources for our micro businesses? That is something I'm very passionate about at this point in time, because I'm reaching out to different organizations who are SheTrades and other things, and I'm not getting that response in terms of mediation seen as something important. Yes, it's been taught to people, but in terms of the resources and actually bringing parties to the table for resolution and resolve, I'm not seeing those resources there at all.
I think that what we could do, we could put a poll in the WhatsApp. So once we gather the persons, then we say, hey, we have this group that want to learn, and then our job will be to go find some persons who could deal with it. I saw something on my mind, but I'm not after that it through. And then we get that group to benefit from that entity. So
yes,
you ready about mediation?
There is a mediation board, but it doesn't seem to be operating. I have tried getting through to them as well, and it's I was just told send your concern to a particular email, got no response. So as far as I'm concerned, that's a dead thing.
Let's try the Ehub approach, which where we could say, hi, we are the Entrepreneurship Hub. We represent over 1,000 entrepreneurs. You have a group of 20 persons who are interested in understanding mediation because they have issues with persons owing them money, and you list it out. Can you set up a Zoom discussion for 2 hours on this date, and we can pursue that, and then invite everybody to listen. So good. Chantel and Chris, I see your hand was up, and then you put it back down. Like signs of an introvert running away. Come, I want to hear you.
Good morning. So pretty much yes, I am a little bit of an introvert. And I really wanted to ask if there is anyone in the group where I can have like mentorship or like just some guidance as to how I am presenting myself and presenting what I do, because I still feel as though I'm not sure 100% about me and what I do. If I'm being honest, it's new. I've I'm 41 now, I'm just putting that out there. But I've been working since 16 corporate, like HR, I did some counseling, I did all these different things. And now my latest venture is I created a card game. And it's an adult card game, but I also have something else in another game in the works. And for me, I'm not sure how to present myself, how to present that. I feel like I'm all over the place, even though I'm doing stuff, I'm getting sales, I feel as if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but I don't know what I don't know. If that makes sense.
It does. Sounds like you need pitch presentation techniques session. Yes. And that pitch helps with that direction. Because it asks you some questions, you have to assess yourself, where it ought to be, what's your unique value proposition, how could you convince someone? It's falling in along those lines. Lionel, I saw
Right.
your hand up and sorry, Crystal. Yeah,
No, I think that's fine, thanks. Yeah. Thank you.
no problem. Lionel?
Yes, sir. Sorry about the first time you had called on me. I just dropped off the system. What I would like to say, I would like to make myself and Tropimulch Limited available to the community here, but over 14 years of service within the environmental sector. We have been able to amass a network of over 250 strategic players within the region, Trinidad and Tobago, all government agencies, academia, all of them we are patron mulch of all of these large companies, all the agricultural sector companies, food producers, horticulture producers, wildlife conservation groups, environmental advocates, you name it. Once they're a large player across Trinidad and Tobago, they are within our network, thankfully. So we would like to make that available. Also, the young lady was now speaking about mentorship. We are also available to provide mentorship. We can provide expertise in assisting you in not just pitching, but how to communicate, how to connect, not just communicate, because you are your business. You are the product before somebody gets a tangible service or a tangible item from you to purchase, and you have to be able to sell yourself in a most effective and convincing way. We can assist with that as well. We have many satellite groups within our organization that can assist. So I place my information within the chat. Feel free, anybody can connect with us. Our network is growing exponentially, and you are free to come in with us and to gain from our expertise. And again, Shemeon, excellent what you are doing. I'm just in awe every time I come on to one of these sessions. Excellent work. Keeping on.
Thank you, Lionel. Please share your contact again. Some persons are asking for it. And thanks for always being supportive, always being here. And there are entrepreneurs that we encounter that are happy to help us as we start our fledgling businesses into strong trees. Chantal, you're back.
Yes. Hi. I didn't want to interrupt anybody. But I didn't know if you answered my question too. I mean, I did cut short, kind of, abruptly, but.
You remind me of the question one more time?
Oh, Lord. Now I forget the first one. Right. The three social media pages. And
right.
you even extended and said three websites, or, I find that I just wanted to expand on that a little more, because I have a kind of understanding of why you're saying that, but I just want to make sure that we're on the same page.
Okay. So when you are the latest concepts in marketing is about marketing, not just to people, but marketing to mind states. And what that means is that when someone, I use our example. So when someone is getting married, right? They are coming onto your page and they want to know that you are excellent wedding photographer, the best. And actually, let's pull up that page. When they come to the page, right? Instagram. They are going to get hit. Oh, shit. Right. But this is my personal page. Let's say you want to get married and you hear Shem is a good photographer. And you come to Shem page and you see in very little weddings. You're not sold. You question and your attention is now splintered. You have not communicated in the first 10 seconds that you are the best option versus right. Louisville weddings. So you know about weddings, right? I come and say, oh, this is the weddings, and this is the kind of weddings, and it's all weddings, it's nice weddings. Okay, I get the point. You are for me, right? So the mind starts going like this. Now imagine if I was a corporate client, right? And you're looking for Louisville, and it came to this wedding page, or it came to my personal page. The one question which they ask themselves is, are you creating products for persons like me? That's all. Can I trust you? Or are you just a wedding photographer? No, I'm looking for someone corporate, very corporate. So hence you would do studio. Something for just corporate. Right? So now it's and within the first 9 images, you could get an essence for what kind of content that you create. So your marketing is very much aligned to the person and their mind at that point in time. Okay?
I understand now. Yeah. Oh, yes. But I saw a lot of people asking, and I agree, yeah. So let me just say I agree. But I saw a lot of people asking about AWE as well, and I'm sure you have some information on that. But it's coming to a close in September of this year, and which is this month. And I believe a new cohort supposed to, once Deidre decides that she wants to continue it, I guess. But yes, a new cohort is coming about. So I guess there is a WhatsApp group, and even this Ehub, right? This Ehub supposed to have information on that.
Yes.
Right. So I saw a lot of people in the chats just asking about AWE. I think it's an amazing program. It taught me so much. My business has been around over 40 years, but I'm now taking over from my father for the past 10. I will be in the Express getting a feature of her magazine this weekend, actually, because of AWE's motivation and inspiration for me to push myself and be out there. So it's a great opportunity. Yes, the information, if you have a master's and a higher tertiary level, it may be basic, but being able to apply the information to your company, they do that so well. They help you so much. And just putting yourself out there. So that's me plugging in AWE there for a bit.
Definitely. Excellent program. What programs like that, it makes you pause for a second and begin to work on your business. Instead of in your business, now you're working on, okay, how these things are better, how's the finance, how's the pitching. And it's very powerful. Most of the all girls, when you hear them, it's all these lovely, lovely stories. I'm kind of jealous, but yeah, and everything is for you.
You all had a head start. Men had a head start for how much years now? I guess we're not.
I know the argument. I know the argument. I have no problem. Yes, but the all girls, excellent stuff. It is a competitive thing, meaning there's only space for 30 persons per cohort, right? We are hopeful that it does get more funding next year. We have to pursue some local financiers, right? The hope is if it is we can get like enough testimonials and get it to some of the persons in the local sphere, probably bank or even the ministry, then they would support it, continue to support. That's one side. And on the next side is you have so much women now. Is how is this group continuing to be better than where the program left them? Do we need to spend time in shoring up all these women to ensure that they come together and continue doing good stuff? Right, so those are some of the thoughts on all. And but lots of wonderful stories about all. Kalika.
Just one question. With the WhatsApp group, right? The Ehub WhatsApp group. Well, community. Is it that when you message through the community group, everybody that is included in the WhatsApp groups will get a message, or do you have to WhatsApp individually to each group?
So how the group is built, I mean, this is forming. We have the general community, which only admins get message. And then we have like specific groups. So for example, some workshops are there. I think recently we formed a general group. So perhaps you might want to join the general group if you want everyone to find to hear. There's a friendly group. Some people just like talking to each other about be nice, right? There's a welcome group. So that's the group. Yes, that's a group. Thanks, Pasha. A group where we can speak about everything. So yeah. And you can always request and say, hey, what it is you want. Because I mean, the last thing we want is to be a burden or unhelpful to our community. But we do take advice on about how best to build out that community there. I wonder if I answer your question well enough. Or I guess if you want to communicate to somebody directly, I don't think it'll be that difficult just to send us a message. Some people do that. Some people say, hey, can I do this? What about like Cindy Lou? It's not the first time Cindy Lou asking about mediation, right? So we like hearing, these things are important to say it once, we start thinking about it, say it again, and more people. Cindy Lou mentioned it here, and I see a whole sub chat of people concerned. So then we say, hey, there's traction surrounding this topic or this issue, right? And then we start building. And remember, I don't think there's any issue that you particularly have that nobody else have, right? There's an issue that either somebody else already have a solution for, or this is an issue that all of us are facing that we could collectively get to do it well. And another example to the issue is just in networking to attend these groups, these sessions at a discounted cost. How do we ensure we do that well? Do we need a networking group in particular in that community where we say, hey, or send polls saying, who's interested in this event? And once you get these 10 people, then we start coming as a group to go attend at the discounted rates. Right? So still taking advice on those things. And feel free to contribute, especially via the volunteer group. See any more comments? All right, it's after 11, guys. You all have been great. All right, I appreciate the conversing. All right, bye-bye. We are officially done. Thanks, Marina. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Cindy Lou.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Queenisha. Any pronunciation, right?